Howdy, my name is Nathan Blattman. I'm the Student Ministries Director at Fellowship Bible Church, and today I want to talk to you about one of my favorite things, swords. And so my presentation is called A Play on Swords. Swords have so many different types out there, and each type is representative of the culture which is made. And what's interesting and just fascinating to me is that so many cultures have swords. No matter where, if it's East Asia, Europe, Egypt, Russia, they all develop swords at some point in their timeline. And so it's just fascinating to me, and it's really cool to collect those and see what all's out there. So let me just tell you how we got started. It started with an inheritance that kind of spanned the globe. My grandparents traveled all over the world. It was a constant thing with them, going to Indonesia, Algeria, Russia, all these places, and it was just really cool. Well, in their time, they would collect many things, mostly clothes, but they actually picked up a lot of weapons. And so they got to moving, and they realized that we don't really need all these weapons. They're just kind of stored up in the attic. And so they talked with me and my brothers, like, would you guys do anything with these? And we looked at each other like, yeah, we will. And so since then, we've been collecting swords and weapons, and it's been a fun ride. We have a bunch of different ones. There's the Venezuelan collection. So in this collection, we have a couple machetes with parrot hilts on them. They're really cool to look at, very beautiful with the layered coloring in them. However, be careful, they are sharp. There's a fun story where I was putting away, trying to impress some of my friends, and as I was putting away, I accidentally sliced and almost cut off my finger. In fact, it's still numb. Then you got this machete here with the picture of the cowboys or the Indians wrestling up some buffalo. Just a really cool, beautiful piece. And the next thing, we have a collection of what's called krises. They're small little pirate knives that my grandparents picked up in Indonesia. And so they're these hooked knives here that were meant to just be for easy access, meant to be really easy to use. And then you've got a couple of just more like decorative knives. And this knife actually isn't from Indonesia. Small one. It's a knife that one of my students made for me. The hilt is made out of zebra wood, and he heard that I like collecting knives, and he actually makes knives, and so he decided to make me a knife. And it's a fun story because he brought it to me at church, and I was like, this is really awesome, but we can't have this here. And so we quickly ran and put it into my office. There's also a Japanese kind of occupation side to Indonesia. So during World War II, the Japanese infiltrated Indonesia and were kind of occupying it. But when they left, when the Allies came and kind of forced them out, they left a lot of their swords. And so my grandparents were able to purchase some of them, and they're just so cool. The scabbard of this one has a wheel on it, so that the officers, the Japanese officers, could walk around with it and it not like be clunking all the time. It just kind of roll over the ground. These top few are just kind of more ceremonial, really have no use, but this bottom one is sharp and will cut if you give a hard swing at it. The Europe blades are fascinating. They're probably two of the most beautiful ones in the collection. You can tell by the hilts that these are kind of from the 1600s, early 1600s to mid 1600s in Western Europe. And so these were given to me by my grandfather on my dad's side, who had inherited them through his dad and found them once again just in his attic and said, hey, I hear you're collecting swords. And so he gave them to us, and they're just beautiful. The next sword on our list is called Damascus steel. Now, the interesting thing about Damascus steel is that it doesn't exist. The technique for actually making real Damascus steel was lost a long time ago. So swordsmiths now have come up with a way to imitate it. And so they use steel and some other metal or alloy to create this textured look as they layer the metal over itself. And it's just this beautiful texture. Some people say it keeps it sharp. There's actually no real evidence to support that. But it's just a beautiful thing. And it comes with this nice wood and bone hilt. And so this is my brother who demonstrated the proficiency of it. We threw an orange at him, and he sliced it right in half. I mean, that's his first try. This guy's amazing. I took 10 tries, and I could barely nick it. It's really cool. But of course, my favorite sword is the Bible, and I truly mean that. I use that book every day. I love what it says in Hebrews when it says that it is sharper than any two-edged sword, and it cuts deeper because it has in my life. And so that's my sword collection, and I hope you enjoyed it.